everyone. For today's lesson, we have ancient Near Eastern art and Islamic art. When we say ancient Near East, it refers to early civilizations in a region corresponding to the modern Middle East, the Mesopotamia or the modern Iraq and Syria, the Anatolia or the modern Turkey, the Levant or the modern Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, and Jordan, as well as Persia or the modern Iran and the ancient Egypt. It covers from the beginnings of the Sumer in the 6th millennium BC until the region's conquest by Alexander the Great in the 4th century BC. The ancient Near East is considered as the cradle of civilization, and so being that, it is also the most developed among other regions at that time, including artworks. Because of the rise of the different civilizations, West Asia or the Levant were able to produce impressive palace, temple structures, and decorative art objects. Crafted objects and designed monuments with distinctive religious and political associations were dominant during the ancient times. Among the ancient objects found in Near East are the plaster-covered skulls from Jericho, Jordan, dated 7000 BC, which was presumably made for ancestral worship. According to my research, it is in total of 7 that varied in detail. All had been originally stuffed with soil to support delicate facial features, such as ears, cheeks, and noses. Small marine shells represented eyes, and some skull bore traces of paint. The Jericho skull is one of the plastered and ornamented Neolithic skulls that is one of the British Museum's most important artifacts. The oldest monumental building in the Near East are the ziggurats of Sumerians. The ziggurat is the most distinctive architectural invention of the ancient Near East. Like an ancient Egyptian pyramid, an ancient Near Eastern ziggurat has 4 sides and rises up to the realm of the gods. However, unlike Egyptian pyramids, the exterior of ziggurats was not smooth, but ziggurats are found scattered around what it is today, Iran and Iraq, and stand as imposing testament to the power and skill of the ancient culture that produced them. One of the largest ziggurats in Mesopotamia is the Great Ziggurat of Ur. It was built by the king Ur-Nammu of the 3rd dynasty of Ur. It is for the moon goddess Nana and is used for spiritual and physical nourishment. Next is the Islamic art. Islamic art was influenced by local tradition, with religions as the common subject matter. Islamic religious art is largely aniconic since the holy book of Islam or the Quran condemns idol worship. Muhammad's home in Medina in western Saudi Arabia became a typical basis for mosques. Medina is also known as the Enlightened City and the City of the Messenger of God. It is considered as the second highest place in Islam after Mecca. His home is sacred area and the city's central area that is off limit to non-Muslims. It was a simple structure made of raw brick that opened on an enclosed courtyard to people gathered to hear him. It was built by him in 622 CE. The independent dynasties in the western region of the Islamic world produced a monumental architecture form, the Great Mosque of Kairouan. It was built between 800 to 900 BC. It is an early example of a hypostyle mosque that also reflects how pre-Islamic and Eastern Islamic art motifs were incorporated into the religious architecture of the Islamic North Africa. The purely aniconic mosaic decoration in the Philippines was meant to proclaim Islam's ascendancy in the region. Next is the Indian art. Indian art can be traced back to early as the Indus Valley civilization. It is an urban culture that grew up around Harpa, or the modern Pakistan, and other sites in western India. The Aryans do not seem to have produced images of gods or living creatures. Only few artifacts had survived since the time of their dominance in the Vedic period. However, according to my research, there is a number of gold, terracotta, and stone figurines of girls in dancing poses, revealing the presence of some forms of dance. A great example of this is the Dancing Girl of Mohenjo-daro. It is a prehistoric bronze sculpture made in lost wax casting about 2300 up to 1750 BCE in the Indus Valley Civilization in the city of Mohenjo-daro, or the modern Pakistan. It depicts a naked young woman or a girl with stylized proportion standing in a confident and naturalistic pose. Next is Hindu art. According to research, 95% of the world's Hindus live in India. Hinduism being the predominant religion in Indian subcontinent, it has deeply influenced the Indian artwork such as their painting, sculpture, and architecture. Hindu art represents a plurality of beliefs. A religious tradition that came to be known as Hinduism was associated with the Vedic texts and Brahmanic practitioners. Although the Hindu pantheon is large, many worshippers tend to focus their prayers either on Vishnu, the preserver, or Shiva, the destroyer. Elements associated with fertility are frequently emphasized in Hindu figural sculpture. The sexual anatomical features of these figures have become the exclusive focus of the artworks. Most early Hindu architecture has been lost, probably because they were constructed in woods. Hindu architectural styles are well documented in the structures cut from granite boulders. The Vishnu temple at Deoghar is one of the earliest extant Hindu temples dedicated to the god Vishnu, dated 500 CE. It is made out of masonry, a uniquely simple single-cell shrine temple. Next is Buddhist art. Buddhist art has already evolved as it is spread throughout Asia and the rest of the world. It was believed to have originated in the Indian subcontinent. Buddhist art includes any form of media or reflective of Buddha, Bodhisattvas, and other entities. Buddhist art has gone through the aniconic and iconic phases. During the aniconic phase, Buddha was depicted through Buddhist symbolism, and during iconic phase, Buddhist art started to depict realistic human features. The iconic Buddhist art flourished largely during the Kushan dynasty. Standard icons that emerged include the sacred signs such as the urna or the third eye on the forehead, the chakra or the wheel, the lotus symbol on the feet, webbed fingers, and the elongated earlobes. The Buddha is often shown in meditation, preaching the first sermon, or standing. The hand gesture of the Buddha, or called mudras, conveys a particular meaning. The practice of mudras can enhance meditation and facilitate the energetic flow of the body through the chakras. Chakra means wheel of energy points in your body. Buddhist art is reflected in architecture in three basic forms. First is the stupa, or the burial mound. Second is the chaitya, or the prayer hall. And third is the vara, or the monastic cell or reflection. The earliest example of Buddhist architecture found in Sri Lanka are cave temple. It is an artificial cave temple made by hollowing out rock faces. One of the famous of these is the Ajanta Caves in Maharashtra. It is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. and is comprised of 30 rock thir- and it is comprised of 30 rock cut Buddhist cave monument that features amazing paintings and finest sculptures which are supposed to be the best examples of Indian art. One of the famous of these is the Ajanta Caves in Maharashtra. It is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Site and is comprised of 30 rock-cut Buddhist cave monument that features amazing paintings and finest sculptures which are supposed to be the best examples of Indian art.